My name's Maria. I was 30 when this happened. My sister agreed to watch my 9-month-old for a few hours. 3 hours, max. But when I came home earlier than expected, my baby was gone. She hadn't taken her for a walk. She hadn't run to the store. She'd handed my daughter over to some guy she'd just matched with on Tinder, and left. I didn't scream that day. I saved that for later. 3 days later, when Tiffany opened her laptop, the screaming came from her. If you've ever been betrayed by the very people who were supposed to stand beside you, you'll understand this. That afternoon I only had a dentist appointment, nothing serious, just one of those things you put off until chewing starts to hurt. I figured it wouldn't take the whole 3 hours, but padded in some extra time anyway. Tiffany had agreed to babysit. She'd done it once or twice before without a problem. I left everything ready, bottle in the fridge, wipes in the drawer, pacifier on the shelf, a note with instructions on the counter. I walked out the door trusting my sister with the most important person in my life. The clinic was only a few blocks away. For once, I finished early and left with a numb cheek and a free toothbrush. I even sent Tiffany a quick text, heading home sooner than planned, see you soon. No reply. I called, nothing. I didn't panic. Not then. I pictured her being responsible, phone on silent, eyes on the baby. Gold star babysitter. But when I opened my front door, the apartment was still. No laughter, no footsteps, no voices. The stroller sat untouched by the door. The diaper bag too. The baby blanket was still in her crib. That's when the slow dread began. Not a sudden drop, more like sinking under ice while your brain insists everything's fine. I called again. Straight to voicemail. Again and again until she finally picked up. Hey, Tiffany said casually, like I'd interrupted her. I'm home. Where are you? Oh, I'm almost there. Coming up now. I rushed downstairs, flung the door open, there she was. Empty-handed. No stroller. No diaper bag. No baby. My voice didn't even sound like mine when I asked, where is she? Tiffany froze, then muttered, she's upstairs. No. She isn't. Confusion flickered across her face. Then, panic. Wait, oh my God. She's with Mike. Mike? A friend, she stammered. I just left her for 10 minutes. Text him, I snapped. She pulled out her phone, opened Tinder. You're messaging him on Tinder? I asked, staring. She babbled, it's not like that. We matched before, but we're just friends. We use the app to talk. The dots appeared, then disappeared, then returned. Finally his message came through, I waited, but you didn't come. Left her with my flatmates. All good. All good. I didn't even respond. I just said, where? Minutes later we were sprinting to his apartment. My chest felt hollow with every step until I heard it, my baby's cry. A boy, maybe 19, opened the door. She's here, he said. Inside looked like every grim college flat, pizza boxes, broken chairs, the smell of something burnt. And in the middle of it, on a stained rug, was my daughter. Crying, soaked, her fists flailing. 3 guys hovered nearby. One waved a TV remote. Another offered frozen peas. The third tapped on an empty pizza box. I picked her up. She clung to me so tightly I thought her arms would snap. None of them tried to stop me. One muttered, Mike said it was just for 10 minutes. Another shrugged. Why would someone leave a baby with strangers? He wasn't wrong. I walked out without a word. 3 days later, Tiffany opened her laptop and started screaming. When I was 9, my parents told me I'd be a big sister soon. She'll need you, my mom said. You're the big one now. That was the beginning. From Tiffany's first day, I wasn't just a sibling. I was drafted as her stand-in caregiver. I helped with bottles, read her stories, gave things up so she wouldn't go without. Praise never came, only more responsibility. By the time I was in college, I'd grown used to surviving on scraps of support. Tiffany never noticed. My parents never thanked me. And still, even at 30, I trusted her with the one thing I loved most. That mistake I'll never make again. They helped with a couple textbooks, maybe covered groceries once or twice, but for the most part, it was me. I worked, I studied, and I barely slept. I remember calling my mom once, desperate for help with rent because a freelance payment came in late. Her response? Well, that's the path you chose. Then, without missing a beat, she asked how Tiffany was doing. I finished my degree in computer science and grabbed the first job I could, then another. Eventually, I drifted into freelance development, not as steady, but flexible. That flexibility mattered once I got married and started building a life that didn't feel like one endless list of obligations. Then I got pregnant. That's when my parents reached out again. Tiffany wants to apply for university, my dad said. She's not like you, she doesn't do well under pressure. Translation, she can't survive what you survived. Could I help? I didn't say yes, but I didn't say no either. And that hesitation was enough to open the floodgates. It started with her first semester's tuition. Then came the books. Then rent. Then living costs. By then, I was already juggling full-time work, deadlines, and doctor's appointments while carrying a child. After my daughter was born, I scaled back a little, but not much. I had to keep enough clients to pay for childcare and keep sending money to Tiffany, because supposedly she needed to study in peace. I even set up a college fund in my own name for her. Told myself it was fair, that I could handle it. She grew distant, calls turned into quick texts. Can I use the card for this? Can you cover that? And every month, I did. Because she was family. Because she was younger. Because I'd been taught that helping her was proof of my goodness. But underneath all that giving was an unspoken agreement, trust. I wasn't helping because I was rich, or generous, or saintly. I was helping because I believed she valued me enough not to abuse it. That belief shattered the moment I unlocked my door to find my apartment empty, and Tiffany smiling, empty-handed, pretending everything was fine. That night, as my daughter slept in my arms, I opened my laptop and went through the numbers. No guesses, just hard math. Invoices, transfers, receipts. 3 years of savings, gone. Tuition, rent, books, gone. The emergency account in my name, emptied. More than $28,000 in total. And I'd still been planning to send more. Not anymore. I canceled every standing transfer. Moved what was left out of the shared account. Deleted the budget doc. Archived the receipts and screenshots. I didn't send a rant or a long explanation. I just stopped. Because at some point, you don't keep explaining why the knife hurts. You just pull it out. I expected Tiffany to blow up my phone. I was ready for your overreacting, or don't be dramatic, or maybe a string of crying emojis followed by a photo of her empty fridge. But the first call wasn't hers. It was my mother. It was just before 10 p.m. I had my daughter in one arm, tea in the other, my nerves still shot. I almost ignored it, but curiosity won. Maria, she said, sharp, breathless. What did you do to your sister? I blinked. Good morning to you, too. She opened her laptop and started screaming. What did you do? It took me a moment to realize what she meant, the payment cancellations, the frozen accounts. Reality had finally caught up to Tiffany. I'm not supporting her anymore, I said. What do you mean? I mean I've been bankrolling her since she was 15, and I'm done. She's your sister. She left my child with a stranger from Tinder. She made a mistake. No. She made a choice. And now I'm making mine. The pause on the line was long enough that I thought about hanging up. She needs that money, Maria. I need a babysitter I can trust. I need to leave my house without wondering if my daughter's being handed off like lost luggage. She didn't mean. I don't care what she meant. I care about what she did. Mom inhaled sharply. Then what about the college fund? What about it? You set that aside for her. And now I'm unsetting it. I've reprioritized. You can't just take it back. It's in my name. Always was. Now it's for childcare. You're punishing her. She endangered my daughter. That money was for her future. Exactly. And she's shown me she doesn't care about mine. You'll regret this. I hung up. No drama, no shouting, just a clean break. About an hour later, Tiffany's texts began. You're overreacting. I wasn't thinking. But she's your baby, your responsibility. I didn't just ditch her, she was with someone safe. Nothing happened, you're making this bigger than it is. I didn't reply right away. I just sat on the floor, watching my daughter play with plastic cups like they were Olympic gold. Eventually, I texted back, you're right. She's my responsibility. Just like your education is yours. I won't be sending any more money. Her reply was instant, wait, seriously? This is ridiculous. We're family. You'll get over it. You always do. Just come back when you're normal. You'll regret this. I didn't respond. For once, I didn't feel anger or guilt. Just clarity. For a while, it was quiet. I worked, I cooked, I took my daughter to the park and watched her marvel at grass like it was treasure. No calls, no texts. Just calm. Until 3 days later, my phone rang again. This time, it wasn't family. It was a client. A steady one, reliable. Hey, he said, voice low. This is going to sound odd, but, is everything okay? My stomach nodded. I think so. Why? He hesitated. I got a strange message from someone named Tiffany. Said she's your sister. My blood ran cold. She told me to be careful working with you. Said you're unstable, that you cut people off, that you're not trustworthy. Silence. She mentioned my younger brother, he added. They were in the same class last year. Guess that's how she found me. Of course. I'd met him through his brother. She must have remembered his name. I just thought you should know, he finished. I thanked him, hung up, and stood frozen. After everything, she was still trying to destroy me. Not just my savings, not just my trust, but my work. My reputation. The one thing I'd managed to build while surviving sleepless nights, deadlines, and the cost of diapers. And she wanted to burn that, too. I didn't cry. I didn't raise my voice. I just opened LinkedIn, and there it was. A public post. No names attached, but not exactly subtle either. Some people pretend to support you, only to rip the floor out when it matters most. Then the kicker, don't trust family just because they're family. I'm starting over from nothing, but I'd rather fight uphill than stay silent. 34 likes. A handful of hearts. A comment that read so proud of you. And of course, the audience, mutuals. Cousins. Former classmates. Even an intern from one of my clients. By noon, the private messages trickled in, hey, I saw something, just checking you're okay? I didn't answer any of them. I didn't post anything either. Instead, I took screenshots. And then I searched for a name I'd stored in the back of my mind, the lawyer my friend once mentioned, the one who specialized in defamation cases. I expected nothing. Maybe an auto reply, maybe silence. What I didn't expect was a phone call that same afternoon. Calm, professional, almost warm. Within minutes, he confirmed what I already knew. I had a case. She may not have used your name, he said, but when she's tied to your circle, publicly posting, reaching out to people you work with, it's targeted. And if it's harming your livelihood, that matters. He drafted a letter. Short, formal, sharp. She could retract and delete, or deal with the fallout. I read it twice before saying the words, "Send it." He mailed it to our parents' house. Of course he did, that's still where she lived. 2 days later, there was a knock on my door. Not Tiffany. My mother. Her hair damp, cheeks flushed, eyes narrowed like knives. She didn't wait to be let in. She just walked through like it was her house and I was 16 again, late past curfew. "What the hell are you doing?" she demanded. I closed the door behind her. "Good morning. You're threatening your sister with a lawsuit." "Yes," I said plainly. "She's devastated." "I'm sure she is. Public slander usually comes with consequences." She was venting. "She called my client. Then she posted it online." "That isn't venting, it's sabotage. She didn't even use your name." "She didn't have to." My mother paced the kitchen like she was rehearsing for a courtroom drama. "You think this helps? You think this is healthy?" I tilted my head. "You mean after she almost put my baby in danger and then tried to ruin my career? You're worried about healthy now? She's your sister. She's also reckless. And I'm done paying the price for it. She's young. She's only 18. When I was 18, I was working nights, studying full-time, and living alone. Don't tell me she's too young to know not to drag down the one person who's kept her afloat." She stopped pacing. Her voice softened. "I don't even recognize you." I smiled, but it never reached my eyes. "That's the thing. I finally recognize myself." "This is going to rip the family apart," she whispered. "No." The night Tiffany handed my baby to a stranger tore it apart. This is just cleanup." She didn't say goodbye when she left. And for once, I didn't chase her. Days later, the post vanished. No apology. No explanation. Just gone. That evening, a text arrived, "Happy now?" I stared at it, but whatever in me might have answered, was gone too. I blocked her. Then I blocked my mother. Weeks passed. The silence felt strange, not peaceful, not tense, just hollow. Like waiting for a bomb to go off before realizing it already had. Then one afternoon, a voicemail from my mother, "I've been cooking for Sunday dinner." The usual. "Are you bringing the baby?" I didn't call back. I texted, "No, we won't be coming." Minutes later, "Why not?" I took a breath. Because I don't want my daughter around people who think endangering her is just a mistake. No reply. And I didn't push. Time blurred into laundry piles, nap schedules, Slack notifications answered half asleep. My daughter learned to clap. Then to wave. Then to crawl away while pretending she wasn't. Sometimes, I'd glance at the blocked list, not to unblock anyone, just to check. To remind myself I still meant it. And I did. Tiffany kept posting, though. The party photos stopped. The captions shifted. Coffee-stained tables, bad lighting, endless motivational lines, grind never stops. Do the work even when nobody claps. Not about me, but also, definitely about me. Vague talk of betrayal, about people who abandon you when you're finding yourself, about mistakes not deserving lifelong punishment. Half pep talk, half veiled threats. Then I heard about my mother. Back at work. Part-time shifts at her old office. The woman who once toasted early retirement with champagne was suddenly clocking in again. At first, I thought boredom. Restlessness. Then I heard about the mortgage. They'd taken one out, at their age, to cover Tiffany's rent and tuition. They hadn't done that for me. Back when I started uni, their big contribution was a used textbook and a good luck pat. I balanced 2 part-time jobs, 3 roommates, and a brewing ulcer. But for Tiffany? A mortgage. A medal if she cried hard enough. It wasn't just the hypocrisy. It was the proof. They'd made their choice years ago. And now, I'd finally made mine. These days, I work fewer hours. Sometimes I accept the frantic last-minute job requests. Sometimes I don't. The world hasn't collapsed without me being everyone's safety net. Turns out, life holds steady anyway. My daughter says words now, small ones, but powerful enough to stop me in my tracks mid-dinner prep, a spoon frozen in midair. I laugh more. I breathe more. I notice more. I haven't spoken to Tiffany. Or my mother. I don't know if I ever will. The silence is still there, but it doesn't feel like waiting for an explosion anymore. I think I've finally realized it already happened. And I'm still standing.